Hi, this is a short video on the techniques of installing a laminate floor using the new J-Lock floor spacers. The room is small, so it's going to be a pretty simple installation, but everything I do here will be applicable to any size installation. It's just going to be on a much smaller scale. So the first thing we're going to do is prep the material for our first row, and goes kind of like this. The first thing you have to do is cut this lip off on one side, because this is the end that's going to be the first row up against the wall. So you want to get that out of there so you can maintain an even gap between the wall and the floor. Like I said, this is a small room. I've already measured the width of the room, so I know how much total length I need out of these two pieces. So I need to maintain a 3/8 inch gap on each side, so I'm going to subtract 3/4 of an inch from the total width of the room. So now I have to cut the second piece to fit, to get the right dimension, and then I'm going to go fit it and make sure that it's all good. All right, now we're ready to start putting the floor in. So a couple things to go over real quick first. Before you start putting the laminate floor, you're going to need to get a laminate flooring installation kit. You can get it at any of the big box stores. And there's going to be some things in there you need and some things in there you don't. So let's go over the contents of that box real quick. One thing that's going to be in there is a block. It's a little like soft block that you use to tap the material together. Be careful, don't hit this thing too hard. A lot of this material is kind of brittle, and if you break one in the middle, then you're in big trouble. Also, there's going to be a bar, and this is a little pull bar for when you don't have room to get the block in and tap it. You can put this and hook the floor and tap here and pull the floor together. Same thing, don't hit too hard. You're going to need a mallet for hitting the block and the bar. This will not be in the kit, preferably a rubber mallet. And something else that's going to be in there is a bag of these wedges. These are little plastic wedges that are used to maintain the gap necessary around the floor, because it's a floating floor and it expands and contracts. If you have it too tight, when the floor expands, it'll buckle the floor, and then the floor is ruined. So anyway, you got these little spacers in here, these little plastic wedges, and here's what you want to do with these. Get rid of them. What you want to use are these J-Lock floor spacers. And the way it works is this. Typically, the drywall is going to be about 3/4 of an inch up from the floor, although this one isn't like that. But there's going to be about a 3/4 of an inch gap. When you put those little plastic wedges in there and the floor pushes up against it, the wedges just fall over, and then the floor keeps moving on you, and it's hard to work. These J-Lock floor spacers, they go between the wall and the material, and they lock into place. So when you push against it, even if there's a gap underneath, it just locks this on top of the board, and it holds the floor in place, and you have a nice stable surface to work against. And also, when you're done, these are a lot easier to remove. So the J-Lock floor spacer, that's what you want. Chuck those wedges, and now we'll go ahead and get this floor put together. Here's what the install looks like before the J-lock spacers have been removed. As you can see, you need one for each end and then two for each edge. And then you have a nice stable surface to work against. And you can keep a nice even reveal all the way around. And now the spacers will be much easier to remove than they will with those little plastic wedges that don't like to stay in place anyway. Here you can see how easy they are to remove. And there you have it, the beauty of the J-lock.